Corporates now have many ways to make and receive payments, and the number of options will soon increase because of PSD2 regulation changes, open banking, and competition from fintechs. Yet legacy systems, including checks, are still being used too. With customers demanding easier, quicker payments, corporates are under pressure to change. But where can they turn to get clear information and advice which will help them navigate through the complexities of all those payment options? I'm joined by Erin, Oswalt, the editor of a new website, smartpayments.com, which advises corporates on all their payment matters. And she's here today with Adshead-Grant, one of her contributing writers and the general manager of payments at Bottomline Technologies. Welcome to Cyber TV, guys. Ed, I'm going to start off with you. Perhaps you can share with us what is the payment landscape looking like for corporates at the moment, and what are some of the main causes of the complexities?
Well, it is complex. The world right now, it's a smaller place because it's more connected, and corporates are trading around the world, and what that means is they're coming in contact with new currencies, new payment rails, new data sovereignty areas, all sorts of new challenges that makes it really quite hard to trade, get cash in, cash out. So a lot of challenges there as they technically connect around the world. So we spend a lot of time at Bottomline looking at how businesses pay and get paid, and try and help corporates navigate around those expansion challenges.
Is it a question of too many things happening at the same time?
Well, there's a lot happening for sure, and things are getting quicker. And this isn't just the large corporates. I was speaking with a large corporate yesterday, 9,000 bank accounts, over 200 ERP systems, and over 40 currencies. I mean, there could be chaos there if there's not some good advice and pointers on how to make your payments clean and easy, and how they get tracked around the world across different borders.
Mm-hmm. Well, Erin, technology in a big way changing everything, and very quickly, as I just mentioned. I mean, what are your predictions moving forward?
Well, I think the proliferation of cloud-based platforms, a lot of the open API technology, and some initiatives like PSD2 that you mentioned, open banking, all of that is going to result in really more integration for corporates, which is a great thing because they're dealing with a lot of fragmentation today in their internal operations. I think the flip side is there are many more points at which data is going to be changing hands, and you combine that with faster payment settlement, and you really have increased payment fraud risk. So machine learning, predictive analytics, all of those things are going to have to keep ramping up and getting better to keep the industry protected from fraud. And I think the last thing I'd say is that with millennials now coming of age, many of them are in their mid-30s or older. Many of them are coming into leadership roles, either at corporates, corporate treasury, finance, banks, and I think this is a generation, who was born with iPhones in their hand, and they're going to be the ones to really help transform technology from where it is today.
You mentioned security risks. We all talk about cybersecurity all the time. We know increasingly with more options are more risks.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of the security technology in place today was created at least 5 or 10 years ago, and a lot of it is limited in terms of the amount of activity it's monitoring. It relies on audit logs. It may detect something after the fact. And really, the world's just going to be moving too fast to continue with those types of systems. We really need to move toward real-time solutions everywhere.
Well, I got to ask you about your new website, smartpayments.com. I mean,
yes.
Is that how it came about?
Well, there's a lot of old technology out there, and corporates, and really the back office of any company is really not the first one to get a lot of investment or technology modernization in any company, right? And certainly even the banks that they work with, the consumer side of the bank is tending to get all the innovation and R&D investment. So really our industry is just still using a lot of old systems, and looking ahead at all these changes that are coming, trying to figure out, what's the roadmap for how I get from where I am today to where I need to be, 3, 5, or 10 years down the road. So we thought there was an opportunity. There are a lot of great thought leadership websites out there on payments, but a lot of them are quite broad, and we felt like there was an opportunity to speak specifically to business payments and provide a go-to resource for businesses of any size, SMBs all the way through corporates, as well as the banks and other professionals that serve them, to really have a community around the idea of business payments and talk about what's happening out there, best practices, and where things are going.
I have to admit, I still have a checkbook at home,
Yeah.
which is something you rarely use nowadays. But Ed, what about you guys? What made you interested in smart payments?
What I liked about it was it focuses on the business payments. If you think about it, the point of consumption is actually the corporate. So for all of the banking conversations, the payment itself happens at that point of trade. So you really need to understand the corporate, what their problems are, how they're running their business with the cash in, cash out. And I think it can be troubling if you don't take account of the end user. And that's where I like smart payments getting really close to how businesses pay and get paid to try and remove that complexity and the kind of pains that they feel.
It sounds like a conversation that a lot of businesses need to have, but are they having it, and are they having it often enough right now?
Yeah, I think most of the time their day-to-day jobs are full of just getting through the next month or quarter and keeping the operations flowing. So I think it is very difficult sometimes to step back and look at where they need to be taking things and how do they really more strategically make improvements in their process so that they can better optimize working capital, manage cash flow, get the payments where they need to be, have more control over where those payments are. So there's definitely more opportunity.
Is there something you think they need to look at in a more long-term view? I mean, it might take them a while to get there, if they start thinking about it now. What's your advice, I guess, for companies out there, perhaps some of the smaller entities as well, how they can do this?
Well, I think smartpayments.com can play a role there because we really are looking for contributors that might come from both corporations themselves. There are corporations that are having great success and re-engineering their process, making improvements, and we want to share those success stories because that helps everyone in the industry move forward. Also, commercial banks or other professionals that serve those companies, they see a wide range of things that are working and things that are not. And so I think smart payments can play a role in helping just create more awareness around different strategies that can be taken, and it saves them a little time researching.
Ed?
Yeah, I was talking to a customer just yesterday, and only 6 months ago, she was never speaking to the fintech community. It was all assumed that payments was going to go through the banking community. Now, she has a weekly meeting with these fintechs, so it's really exciting to see that there's new ideas coming through, and let's see where it runs.
So, Erin, how can corporates be a part of the conversation on smartpayments.com?
Well, the first thing would be just to visit the website, smartpayments.com, and there's a link at the bottom of the page to subscribe, and that'll deliver articles and insights right to your inbox. In addition to that, if you have something to share, a success story, or just a point of view on things going on in the industry, there's a link at the top of the page to contribute, and that will take you to more information about how to do that.
Okay. So what you have is really a community about smart payments. People can hear from others as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys. Well, thanks so much for coming and sharing with us, Erin.
Thank you.
Ed?
Thank you.
Ed.